Hello, I'm Ruth Med, the Executive Chair of Women on Boards, and this is the 10th of December Vacancies Review. This is something I do every couple of weeks, and this is the last one for 2021. So listen up, everybody. I thought this week I'd do two things. Firstly, talk a bit about the standing appointments that are on our website. And secondly, talk about some vacancies that close in January, Feb. So you've got something to do in the holidays, just in case the sun doesn't shine. Okay, first up, standing appointments. There's three of these that have been on our jobs board for quite some time. The first one is the New South Wales Audit and Risk Committees. The New South Wales government appoints people to audit and risk committees across departments, statutory bodies, etc., from the list of people who've registered their interest and filled out the appropriate forms. So if that's something you might find interesting, please look at vacancy 143 and follow the instructions. Of course, generally they're looking for people who know something about accounting, audit, C-suite experience, governance, risk management, to be suitable for these roles. And I would think also increasingly ESG. So think about that. Second up is the Federal Government Treasury Portfolio Board Appointments Register. This is 14478. The Federal Treasury appoints quite a number of people to boards of various entities, both locally and internationally. So, for example, there's things like the Australian Accounting Standards Board, riveting and interesting, but very important. The Australian Charities and Not-for-Profit Commission Board, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission Board, and the Australian Energy Regulator Board, plus many others. They're listed on the website, so have a look at those. Fascinating and interesting and do very good, important work. So think about 14478. And third up is New South Wales health boards. Queensland and Victoria generally have an annual campaign for appointing board members to health boards. New South Wales does it slightly differently. They have a sort of standing offer of people expressing interest. So this is 24380, and they look for a broad variety of skills, some of which are stakeholder engagement, finance, governance, health, and health administration. So think about those. So they're some of the standing appointments that you can consider putting in an expression of interest in the holidays. Next up, closing in 2022 early, January and February. I've got a number of paid and a number of unpaid roles for you to have a think about. First up is 24014, PKKP Trusts in Western Australia. Closes on the 28th of February. They're looking for budgeting, compliance, financial oversight, governance, risk management. And this is done via perpetual trustees who manage the appointment process for a broad variety of trusts that disperse funds from arrangements between mining companies and Indigenous groups. Next up, 24383, an organisation called ILIV. I'm not sure how they got that name. It's ILIV Invest Limited, a national body, closes on the 1st of February. And this is a public unlisted body that is a funds manager. So if you're in the banking, financial services, investment sectors, this might be something for you. They're interested in stakeholder engagement, banking, investment analysis and management, unsurprisingly. So that closes on the 1st of February. Third up in the paid section, Wentworth Health Limited, 24409, closes on the 10th of January. This is the primary health network, one of 31, for the Nepean Blue Mountains area. So they're looking for stakeholder engagement, finance, governance, and health administration. Primary health networks are interesting bodies, and there's lots of vacancies on offer during the year, but this one is the Nepean Blue Mountains Primary Health Network. So that's my list of paid vacancies that close in the start of 2022. Not-for-profits. something that might interest you. Normally people join a not-for-profit because they're interested particularly in the subject matter, and typically professional directors have one at least not-for-profit in their portfolio. So here we have 24462, which remarkably is the African American Chamber of Commerce of San Antonio in the USA. This is not a scam, as someone rang me up to ask the other day, but this woman from the United States posted 2 vacancies on the jobs board, and this closes on the 1st of February. It's a fintech sort of startup encourager body, clearly for African Americans. And they're looking for fintech, finance, financial oversight, business development, research and development. And they're very happy to take people who will participate via Zoom. So you don't have to be located in the USA. Next up, 24400, the Australian Gender Equality Council, closes on the 20th of January. WOB member Victoria Weeks is currently the chair, and they're looking for a company secretary. So that might be something that interests you as a starter for getting your board portfolio started, remembering that company secretaries have many and much the same responsibilities as directors. So think about that. They're looking clearly for somebody who understands company secretarial duties, the statutory and fiduciary duties, obligations, and compliance and governance. So that closes on the 20th of Jan. And finally, 23637, an old favourite of mine, community legal centres. They do great works providing legal services to people who otherwise would not be able to access the legal system. And also, of course, they provide a great training ground for law students to get some experience as they're progressing towards becoming qualified legal or qualified solicitor. So this is the Goldfields Community Legal Centre in Western Australia. Not surprisingly, it's near Kalgoorlie, and it closes on the 31st of January. And they're looking for business operations, project management, and law to join their board. So that's 3 to think about. I hope they're of some interest to you, and I encourage you, even if you think they're not of interest, have a look at them on the website, because you may get to understand how people post vacancies and the broad range of selection criteria. Now, a couple of other things. My tip for December. Well, my tip for December is treat people well. We've had a hard year, I think. I think we've had a hard year. So treat people well in the holiday season and enjoy and have a bit of a rest. And keep a good lookout for the vacancies in 2022. And you'll also see in the most recent e-news that comes out on a Monday is my annual report of vacancies. And also there's my report on director remuneration to give you a hint as to what you might earn or not by being a director. So stay safe, treat people well, and see you in 2022. Thank you very much.